Hey, what is up, my people? What is up, my people? This is your boy, Vernard Scott, the Killer Crane himself. This is the Killer Crane Speaks On. It is now March the 8th, 2024 to him. Guys, I want to apologize for the last 2 weeks. I have not been able to do a Crane Talk. I'm sorry, not Crane Talk Live. I'm still calling it Crane Talk Live. The Killer Crane Speaks On. I've had a number of things that have happened. My daughter was in the hospital for about a week. And of course, I couldn't let my baby just sit there in the hospital all by herself. So I spent many a nights there at the hospital helping her out. She's a lot better now. I will give updates on that later. I had some other things that I had to attend to for my family. They definitely come first. So I apologize for those of you who are waiting for the last 2 weeks for an episode of the Killer Crane Speaks On. My apologies. So let's get down to the show, guys. All right. I usually start off by doing birthday shout outs and such. However, I'll have to start with something sad. Everybody who knows me knows my favorite anime of all time is Dragon Ball Z. And unfortunately, we have a loss in the Dragon Ball Z community. The creator of Dragon Ball Z, Akira Toriyama, has passed away. He was 68 years old. Very sad, very sad. My condolences to his family, his friends, and his fans. Me being one of the biggest fan of one of his production, which is Dragon Ball Z. So, do we have any birthday shout outs or anything? Let me check the comment section. None yet, of course. But I am certain that we may get some as we go along. So, this is March, April. I have a birthday coming up in April. It's my baby girl's birthday, Haley, and she will be turning 14 on next month. But do any of you have any birthday shout outs this month? Whatsoever anniversaries going on this month, please leave it in the comment section below. Let's see. If you want to be a guest, let me know. Send me a comment, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. If you're on Facebook or on my Instagram account, I have left the link if you would like to be a guest on the show today. Today, we will be talking about last episodes of any TV series. Which one or ones were your favorite? Which ones kind of let you down? How would you change those episodes? Let's talk about all those three things. So, until we get some guests on, I guess I'll start it off. And I guess we'll talk about, of course, I know we just talked about the death of this gentleman. However, the passing, I hate the word death. It's a little bit too serious. But the passing of this gentleman, because he'll live on forever through his works. Dragon Ball Z. So, from my understanding, there was Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z Super. Am I missing a Dragon Ball series, guys? Please let me know in the comment section. I was always a fan of Dragon Ball Z, and to be honest, I need to rewatch a lot of series of Dragon Ball because some of them kind of bridge over and the storylines kind of bridge over. Some of them don't make sense. I know that Dragon Ball Super is supposed to be a continuation of Dragon Ball Z, but there's some continuity errors between those two series. So if you guys want to discuss that, if you want to get on a little bit later, let me know. My favorite was Dragon Ball Z, and I believe, please correct me, the final episode was the Cell series, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that the Cell series, since we're talking about last episodes of TV series, I think that the Cell series really was a pretty good send-off. I mean, I don't remember How did the last episode go of Dragon Ball Z? I cannot remember, but I do remember it was okay. It wasn't like a total send off for the episode, I mean, for the series, but I really did love it. Okay. What do you guys think? Excuse me. Uh, let's see. What else we got? Now, you guys, please chime in and let me know. Oh, I forgot. I have to do my little Facebook thing. Hold on. My Facebook. My Facebook. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. And put that right there. So if you guys want to suggest a TV series for me to talk about today, I just got through talking about Dragon Ball Z. So let me know if there's another series other than Dragon Ball Z Super, and the or just Dragon Ball. Okay. And please help me to remember what was the last episode of Dragon Ball Z. I know it had something to do with Cell. No, was it Majin Buu? Now that I think about it, was it Majin Buu? Was that the last episode, or was it the androids? I cannot see these episodes. They kind of intertwine within each other, and it's been a while since I've seen the series. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm sorry, I did not like Dragon Ball Z Super. So, and I didn't like Dragon Ball. So anyway, let's move on. Please comment in the comment section. Let me know if there is a TV show that you guys want me to deal with. Come on, thing, stop. Yeah, I gotta get my comments in here. Up in here. All right, here we go. So the next TV show, please let me know. I'll cover your TV shows, but I'm gonna do mine since nobody's chimed in yet. One of my favorite shows of all time, A Different World. I remember the last episode of that very fondly. It was a great show. It was one of the first shows that showed Black people in a positive light in college. They covered such important topics like apartheid, um, date rape. It was a lot of great episodes there. It was one iconic episode in this series was when Dwayne and Ron went to jail. It was during a football game, and there were some racist guys that tried to they succeeded in putting the words "NI" on Ron's car. You guys can fill in the blanks, and let's see. Oh, we got comments here. One person said blasphemy. I would guess that they're talking about Dragon Ball Z Super. How did you not like Super? Just my opinion. All Dragon Ball series were great. I'm just saying, I just didn't like Super. Dragon Ball Z was the greatest series when it came to Dragon Ball. And they said, nah, to each his own. Oh, yeah, that's the one with Dean Cain. Who is this Facebook user? Let me see if I go to Facebook, if I can see who's been leaving the messages. I really appreciate it. Whoever you are. Let me see if I go to Facebook. Oh, come on now. Cut the sound down. We're gonna get some feedback. Oh, my boy Damon. Damian Noor. What's going on, brother? That's the one with Dean Cain. Yeah, that episode of A Different World. It sure did have Dean Cain in there. Wonderful episode. But we're here to talk about, we can talk about that if anybody comes in live or if you leave a comment, we could talk about it. But glad you're feeling better. Oh, I appreciate it, man. I was going through some stuff for a while, man. I was as a matter of fact, I just got over COVID and my child being sick and everything. So it feels so good to be back doing this thing, guys. And I appreciate all of you who are watching. I'm not going to call you out, but I appreciate all of you who are watching. But final episodes, please let me know if it's a series. The final episode of A Different World that I remember it started off talking about a baseball game that was created by, it was actually first spearheaded, and the idea came up with, Ron came up with the idea, and Dwayne created it since he worked for, what was the name of the company, the Japanese company he worked for? Come on, brain. I forget the name of it. I have to know it on the spot. If I have to recite it on the spot, I won't know it. But if I lay down in bed, I'll be like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? He called it Dwayne Tendo is what he wanted to create. Um, Yoshi, no, come on, guys. I need some other people here who can help me with this in a different world. What was the name of the Japanese company? This is kind of like a quiz question. The Japanese company that Dwayne worked for, or he wanted to work for. Um, God, I remember the girl named Kinu had worked there. He was like her girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. But anyway, let me get back to the final episode. The final episode of that, basically Ron and Dwayne got into a big argument. And of course, toward the end, they made up or something like that. Please answer this question. Did Dwayne ever give Ron, like, say that I'm going to give you partial credit for that video game or something? It's been a while since I've seen that final episode. But the thing about it is that I love is when a TV series ends and the people move away from each other. And there's one show, one TV series that didn't do that. And it really irked me. And I can understand why they did this, but still it really irked me, and I was waiting for everybody to move away. It shows completion, but you guys try to guess what TV show I'm talking about. It's going to be the last one that we cover. Okay, but there was one TV series that ended and everybody didn't move out, everybody didn't go their own separate ways, and it really irked me, and that's what I was expecting. It would have been so complete for me, but it left me incomplete. What TV series am I talking about, guys? Anyway, the last episode of A Different World. What do you guys think about that? For those of you who saw it, let me see. Any of them on? Okay, the Killer Crane. I have 2 Facebook accounts which I have to go back and forth on, which I am posting on. Let me see. No comments on here, so let's go back to the Killer Crane. Killer Crane Speaks On. Okay. There's 6 comments here. Okay. Anyway, so until somebody comes in live, if you want to be live, let me know. Damien says, I thought Whitney's wedding was the last episode. Nope, it was not. It was the end of one season. I think that was the season before last, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm glad you brought that up. That was such an iconic episode. Will you do, Whitney? Will you have me to have and to hold as your lawful wedded husband, baby? Please. Oh man, they go. Whose was it? It was Charlemagne the God or something like that. They were on his show and they were talking about how a lot of that was improv when they did that. That was just a wonderful episode. A lot of emotion in that. But anyway, that was not the last episode. But thank you for that comment, sir. I'm gonna move on. If anybody else comes in, I will. Let me see. Okay, that's the same comment. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to another show. How many of y'all have seen this one? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm sure that everybody here who is watching has seen the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and saw the last episode of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And of course, it was okay. Of course, everybody moved out of the mansion, the Bel-Air mansion, the Banks mansion, or whatever you call that. Will, of course, he screwed up and he actually didn't have a home. And his uncle, I think Uncle Phil had to get him a hotel room for a month or something like that till he could get on his feet. What else? Excuse me. Not Whitley. What is the daughter's name? Hillary. Hillary and Ashley actually moved out together. And they did something with their production business. I think one of them was modeling or something like that. Carlton, I'm not sure where he moved to or what he did. And, you know, of course, Uncle Phil and his wife moved away somewhere. But they sold the mansion, I believe. Was it to Donald Trump that they sold it to? I'm not sure. But how did you guys feel about that last episode? Like I said, for those of you who are tuning in, if you have a TV show which you want me to cover, please put a comment here. Oh man, the empty living room. Oh yeah, reading comments. That empty living room, and then Will, I think he turned out the lights, and Carlton came out the bathroom, and he had his pants down or something like that. The last little comical bit that was something. And see, that's how you end a series. Somebody leaves and cuts off the lights or something like that. You feel complete. You feel complete. Not like this show that I'm going to describe last. Okay. So if you want to know what show I'm talking about, just keep watching. Keep watching. All right. Last episode of The Fresh Prince. I've covered that. What about this one? Everybody hates Chris. That's how you sing that, by the way. The last episode, if you guys haven't seen this is based loosely on the life of the comedian Chris Rock. The last episode was pretty accurate to his life, where he dropped out of school. It was in his, I think, junior year, and they said that they wanted for him to repeat the 11th grade. And he basically said, I don't want to do that. I'd rather work and drop out of school. And so his father said, you have to get a job. And he said that he heard that it was a seafood place. Was it Red Lobster was hiring or something like that? Another comment from my boy Damien. I confess I never liked Everybody Hates Chris. Well, to each his own, to each his own. That's one of the few shows that I found absolutely hilarious that didn't have a laugh track. And if any of you have been keeping up with my Facebook page on the KILLAKRANE Speaks On, I asked a question because they said that sitcoms are no longer going to use the laugh track. And some of you agreed, and some of you are like, no, we need the laugh track. What do you feel about that, guys? Leave a comment in the section right here. If you want to join in, I can give you the link. But Everybody Hates Chris is one of those shows that did not have a laugh track, and I absolutely cracked myself up every episode. Nothing against you, Damon. I appreciate you, brother. Love you, brother. But I have to disagree with you. I found this show absolutely hilarious. The last episode, like I said, he dropped out of school. He started working at Red Lobster, and the last episode showed they were in a diner or something like that, and they were opening up to see if he passed his GED. And of course, in real life, he did. Let's see, more comments. Great. I think his mom's character put me off. She was horrible. It killed the show for me. That was not Gina from what was the character's name in Martin that she played? Pam. That was Pam that was in Martin. Was it Tashina Arnold? What's her name? Tashina Arnold. And then the other one was named. See, once I get questions like these on the spot, I kind of get discombobulated, if that's a word. But anyway, I found the entire cast, funny. Of course, y'all know, me being a loving father and a tightwad, you know who my favorite character was. It was Julian. That's $2.35 worth of sugar or milk you just spilled on the table. I love that kind of cheap nature. You know what I'm saying? It's over exaggerated, but that's how we have to be. My boy said, I like the laugh track. I don't see why it needs to be taken away. Thank you for that. Thank you. Either way, certain shows that have the laugh track that actually kind of intensifies the laughter that I get from certain shows. I don't find it annoying at all. I actually like the laugh track, but there are shows where you don't need a laugh track. So if you guys want to comment, if you guys want to join in, I guess the question is, what shows do you love that has a laugh track? And what shows don't have a laugh track and you still love them? Leave it in the comments section below. I think I've covered Everybody Hates Chris. If you guys ever want me to talk about a certain show or a video game or anything, let me know. let me know. Um, well, what did I feel about the last episode of Everybody Hates Chris? Well, it's based on his real life, and I think that was a great point, the perfect point to stop the show. And another thing about shows where it involves children, of course, they grow older and they grow out of their parts. Even the Fresh Prince, I forgot to put that in there too. I think it was time for that show to end because everybody had outgrown their parts. You know, a lot of these shows show children and teenagers who have some growth to do in one way or another. And I think that everybody had outgrown themselves mentally and physically. The show had to end. You know what I'm saying? Oh, excuse me. Another question I'm going to bring up. What show would you like to see revamped? You know what I'm saying? Not like a what do you call that? Kind of like a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Like what they did with Full House and Fuller House. You know what I'm saying? So like a continuation of that show. And I'm not talking about a remake. I no. To be honest, and we could talk. I think I've talked about this before too. I did not like the Fresh Prince remake where they made it all drama filled and with the drugs and the fighting and they almost drowned Will one time in that show. I didn't like that. I like the family oriented nature of the original show, and that really took from it. It was just a bunch of I didn't like it. Anyway, another comment. Let's see. Friends, of course. Big Bang Theory. Living Single, Family Matters, all laugh track shows. Great. Me too. I hated that version. Yeah, of the Fresh Prince. Yep, 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 yep. I'm glad you agree with me. Nothing against anybody who doesn't like it, but who does like it, but I don't like it. Let me see. Let's keep going. If you guys have a TV show that you want me to cover, leave it in the comment section. There's a link for anybody who wants to join on my Facebook page and my Instagram page. I should start putting it on YouTube as well. But yeah. Damien says Fresh Prince is supposed to be funny. Right. I just can't get down with a serious version of something like some of them you can get serious. To be honest, there was a serious version, it was fan made, of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it was more of an adult version. You guys know what I'm talking about. Of course, what was his name? Jason David Frank. He didn't like it, and I'm sure he was kind of influenced to say he didn't like it. I mean, he was like with all the drugs and the sex and stuff. He was still pretty much on the payroll with Saban Industries, and I think Power Rangers got turned over to Nickelodeon, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me. But he said he didn't like it, and I can understand why. They even had like Bulk and Skull sleeping with prostitutes, and they were real life like porn stars and stuff like that. So, but I thought it was pretty cool. A lot of it was pretty cool. Let me get off here. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm just talking my butt off. Anyway, let's move on to the next show. Please let me know if there's a show you want me to cover. Let me see. Let's see. He's got 2 comments. Not for follow-up show, spinoff Family Matters, but Steve and Laura House. I heard that they were doing a continuation or something else with Family Matters. Yes, guys, I know I've announced this a million times. I've already written the continuation story to Family Matters, okay? And it includes like, where was Judy this whole time? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not giving a weird world explanation like they kicked her off because, that she wasn't getting paid enough or something like that. And, she started doing porn. I'm not going that route. Okay. This is in universe. Okay. An explanation of what happened to Judy, my story. If you guys want to help me produce this, I'm trying to stay away from AI, but it gives a continuation story of what happened and what the Family Matters family would be doing nowadays. Because of my child being sick, me being sick, other family stuff, I have not gotten around to helping. And now I've taken on the producing another podcast for the One Tribe properties. It's a good friend of mine in the family. Hold on 1 second, guys. Gotta play daddy. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, come on in. Yeah. So, if you guys want to help me produce this continuation of Family Matters, I would surely appreciate it in any kind of way. Let me see. Got another comment. Yes, and it was fantastic. Which one was fantastic? I'm up here rambling and not checking comments like I'm supposed to. I sincerely apologize. So, what exactly was fantastic, Damien? Um, apologize once again. Oh, your story. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I forgot. I sent it to my boy Damien and my boy Anthony, and they were beta readers for this. Okay. So if you guys want to be beta readers for it, let me know. I really need some help producing it. I'm trying to stay away from AI. AI just doesn't seem creative to me. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody can do it. I'm not against it. I'm not against AI. I'm just saying I want to try to produce it some other kind of way. Okay. Can't do live action. I'm not doing that, dealing with actual people. The last time I did that was when I did The Legend of Gomeroi. It was a headache. I will be doing that again. Damon said AI is not the way. So it's the opposite of the Mandalorian creed. It's not the way. Okay, I got you, brother. I got you. All right. Let's see. I did Everybody Hates Chris. All right. Here's one for you. Let's go old school. Now, anybody who is in the Black community knows this show. Okay, it is a classic, no matter what generation you are from. Sanford and Son, or as Black people call it, Fred Sanford Show. Okay, this is a show about a junk man named Fred Sanford, Fred G. Sanford, and the G stands for, depends on which episode you watch, because every episode he said it meant something else. So, quiz question for this show. What did the G actually stand for? Okay. So his middle name started with a G, but he would say something different every episode. Okay. So what did the G actually stand for? So let's continue on. The final episode of that show. Many people don't know it. I'm going to give you guys about 10 seconds to guess what was the final episode of Sanford and Son. And while you're doing that, let me read the comment. Classic. AM effing classic. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Most definitely. I love this show, like my daughter would say, with a blazing passion. She loves putting that at the end of everything. Anyway, at the final episode of Sanford and Son, and some of you who have watched this series over and over and over again, every single episode, and some of you still don't know what the final episode of Sanford and Son is. And it is the episode where he got his high school diploma. Now, this is very important. And I think this was a great way to send off this show. Why? Because all during the show, during the series, he would brag about how I think he didn't even get done with elementary school. Because there was one episode where he was applying for a job, and the woman was like, "Do you have any college experience?" He was like, "Nope." He was like, "High school?" And he was like, "Getting warmer." And she was like, "Junior high?" He was like, "How about junior low?" So he always bragged about how he didn't finish school. So the last episode of where he got his high school diploma was a big thing, and it kind of completed the series to me. So it was a great way to send it off. Now, another show from this era that I just thought about, and I don't have a picture, is Good Times. You guys remember the last episode of Good Times? That was a show about a family in the urban ghetto, quote unquote, ghetto area of Chicago, Illinois. What was the name? My Chicago people, what was the name of that apartment complex, that place where they stayed? Let me see. My boy Mazel, what's going on, brother? He said they did a spinoff in the 80s where Fred was living with that fat white guy, and they called it Sanford. I remember that. His name was Kyle, I think. Was it Kyle? And I think Julio was in, no, not Julio. Rita Larson's boy, Rollo. Yeah, he was in that too. Yep, thank you for that. It wasn't too bad. It only lasted for like 1 or 2 seasons. And it also had another spinoff I remember with Grady, and he moved in with his family. Um, it wasn't too bad, you know what I'm saying? So appreciate that for the comment, brother. And Damien said, I thought he sold the junkyard. No, I think there was one episode where he was trying to sell the junkyard because he thought that he had struck oil on there or something. And then in the end of the episode, the Saudi Arabian guy said it was crude. And he kept making fun of his accent or something like that. But no, there might have been another episode where he was trying to sell the junkyard or something like that. Maybe. But that wasn't the final episode of Sanford and Son. Now, there was another spinoff, and it had Esther and some other people in it. So if you guys can help me remember that one, I appreciate it. So it might have been in that one. But let's keep going. Oh, Sanford and Son. Do I have any more final thoughts on that one? Just a great show. Great show. Great show. The final episode, it really did complete me. I mean, I felt a thing of completion. Oh, the last episode of Good Times was when they got out the ghetto family. They sure did. Appreciate that, Marzell. That's my homie. Yep, I remember that episode. And Keith, which was Thelma's husband. Oh my God, I had a big crush on Thelma. Ooh, wee. She still looked good. I don't know how old she is. I don't even want to disrespect her by guessing her age, but she's older than me. And my God, she looks good. But anyway. I really had a crush on her during Good Times. But anyway, that's just a little side note. But Keith was her husband, and I believe in that episode they found out that his leg got healed and he started doing football again. And they moved out of the ghetto, and they found out Valona was she was moving out too. And they found out Valona was moving like really close to them or something like that. Marzell said, "Me too. Thelma had a big old booty. Woo! Woo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir." I noticed. I'll put it that way, brother. I noticed too. But yes, sir. I believe she was one of those crushes that every man had back in the day. You know, it was a series that I think stopped in like 78, 77, somewhere around my birthday. So yeah, she was like a heartthrob of the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, appreciate the comments, guys. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Let me see what else. Good Times. Any other series that you guys can think about? Oh, gotta bounce. Till next time. Appreciate it, Damien. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. If you can get back on here later or something like that, I surely appreciate it. You're always welcome as a guest, brother. Let's see. Okay, we got Sanford and Son. So, you guys, this whole episode, I have been talking about a show which had a final episode, and it did not really, I mean, they attempted and they kind of fulfilled my final episode satisfaction, but I really didn't I felt like it was kind of rushed. But the show I am talking about, I've seen every episode at least twice. I love this show, even though it has been getting a lot of flack. I love this show. But the show, which I did not like the final episode was drum roll, please. The Big Bang Theory. Oh, before I get on that, my boy Marzell said the final episode of Family Matters was trash. Bro, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me take Big Bang Theory out the way for a minute. Let me talk about that. The final episode of Family Matters, and it was so rushed. And Laura and Steve got engaged. They didn't get married, okay? So that's one thing. And it was something stupid about Steve went to outer space and he finally came back or something like that. And the way that they ended it, it didn't satisfy me one bit. There was a lot of holes in it. and they changed mothers, I think, like mid last season. Nothing against the actress that played her, okay? Nothing against her. She's a great actress. But the original Harriet Winslow will, excuse me, always be my Harriet Winslow. And it kind of changed the dynamic. And so that was another series which I hated to see it go. I really did. But it was time for that series to end. It did remarkable. It started in like 88, 89, and it stopped in like 98. So it had like 10 years or so. And it did pretty good. And there's another series. I forgot to post that link. I said I was going to later. Let me see. Another, yeah, okay. I was just checking comments. There's a YouTube series. It's called When Certain Shows Had actually ended. I'm gonna put a link in the description below because that was, let me see, until 98. That's what Marzell said. Yep. It ended in 98. But it was one person who goes through these old shows like Family Matters, Full House, and they'll say, yeah, the series ended in 98, but this is when I think this show actually ended. You know what I'm saying? Like the theme of the show had actually exhausted itself, and they were just making episodes to keep it going. Family Matters, like I said, it got tiresome. Steve Urkel looked like he was about 30 years old. They told him he couldn't lift weights and stuff, but you could see he was still building some muscle. You know what I'm saying? So that series needed to end. Looked like they were just kind of wringing the towel dry as long as they could, but that series had to end. But yes, thank you, Marzell. That final episode of Family Matters, it was utter trash. The show was great. The entire series was great. That's why I am really, really pissed at that final episode. You know what I'm saying? They need to do something else to make up for that. So appreciate that, sir. If you guys can think of another show, I remember
Priority 1 message coming in unsecured.
Let me turn this off. Okay. Anyway, another show, since we're doing the TJF thing, Full House, I think the last episode of that was when Michelle fell off the horse or something like that. And I don't know, I think DJ got married, or I don't know. What was the last episode of Full House? It's been so long. It wasn't that good, if I can't remember it. I remember Step by Step last episode more than I do Full House, because Step by Step.
Priority 1 message coming in.
I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. It's my family. They're sending text messages to each other. I sincerely apologize. Let me turn this down. Okay. Turn my notification down. Let's just here. Notification value. Sorry, guys. Let me just do this right quick. All right. Anyway. Yeah. What were we talking about? Anyway. We got some comments here. Until 98. Step by Step was another great show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I watched every single episode. I know I'm sounding like a horn dog right now, but when I was growing up, I had a crush on all the sisters because I was the same age as the youngest sister. And so she grew up and she blossomed into a beautiful young lady. And so me as a teenager, since we both grew up together, I had a crush on all three sisters. Then there was, in Family Matters, I talked about who I had a crush on in that one. Surprisingly, Laura was okay. It was mostly Maxine and, of course, Myra Monkhouse. Ooh, my goodness. I had a big old crush on Myra Monkhouse. But anyway, Step by Step. That final episode was something like somebody was trying to buy that house, and then they collaborated together and said we weren't going to sell the house because we've grown together as a family. And so that gave me a sense of completion. Okay? It really did. So Step by Step, good job. It wasn't a great episode, but it gave me a sense of completion. And they didn't move out. Okay? Now, I'm going to contradict myself. Let's get back to this show. You guys, please give me more comments. Give me more comments. This show right here, let me say this. A lot of y'all I've heard a lot of flack. I love this show, by the way. I've heard a lot of flack on this show on how it's misogynistic, it's stereotypical, it's not really funny. If you remove the laugh track, it's not funny. The jokes don't make sense. Um, I've often wanted to talk about this. The things that people talk about, they say it portrays geeks and nerds in a negative way. Well, me as a black man, if you negatively stereotype black men, we could possibly get shot by the police because it makes us out to like dangerous individuals. Now, if you mislabel a nerd, what I mean, it hurts their feelings, and I hate that anybody gets their feelings hurt. But I mean, it's not a big thing. Who said never saw the last episode of Step by Step? You can catch it. I think it's on Hulu. That Marzell said that, by the way. You can catch it on Hulu or maybe Netflix. I'm not sure. They move these series around, so you really have to go. You know, I keep having to get all these subscriptions. Like Young Sheldon, that's been all over the place on different streaming apps. So it's on one of them. So you just keep searching them. Uh, if you want to, brother, you want to come over and we can binge watch it or something like that. I mean, that's cool. Once we get our situations underway, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to put our personal business out there, but it's getting better. But anyway, let me go back over here. Take myself off for a minute. All right, let's get back on the Big Bang Theory. Okay, the Big Bang Theory and how people have their they don't like the show for various reasons. Like I said, they say it puts nerds in a bad light or something like that. It kind of reminds me of how I have discussed for a lot of Tyler Perry films. Nothing against the brother, okay? I've said this a million times. I have ultimate respect for Tyler Perry and the way that he's produced so many things. He's a billionaire now. He's done a lot for a lot of people and charities and stuff like that. However, I, his shows are trash. I don't like the way he stereotypes people, black people, and in relationships, and it kind of adds to this whole man versus woman thing that we have nowadays. But that's another story. Right? I can make a whole podcast on that. But anyway, it just kind of reminds me of how certain people, have discussed for the Big Bang Theory. I think it's a great show. It actually is funny. I believe that it needed to end. They actually wanted to keep it going if Jim Parsons, who played the part of Sheldon Cooper, wanted to keep it going. But I believe that this show needed to end. I did not like the way that they ended the show in the last episode. First of all, the portion of Raj, I think that he had a girlfriend or he was about to get married and she wanted him to move to England and he was like, no, I don't want to do this. So I guess the idea was that he loved himself more than, finding a woman or something like that. I would have liked to see him get with that. If y'all remember that episode where he met like the janitor and she was from what was it? One Puerto Rico. It was Cuba, I believe. And they had a relationship thing going or something like that. I would have loved to see that type of Cinderella story to where, even he had to move to Chile with her, and her family. And even though it would have been a step down from, he comes from a rich family in India and his parents always bought him stuff or whatever. But he got with the janitor woman and they built a life together and built it up, something like that. That would have been a nice send out for the character of Raj. What was it? Howard and his wife Bernadette. I think in the final episode they had a baby, had another baby or something like that. Um, mm, and then you had who owned the comic book shop. This is another. I can't use my brain right now. Uh, what's the name of the guy who owned the comic book shop in The Big Bang Theory? Who moved in with Howard and his wife for a little bit. So he got a girl at the end, and she seemed like a perfect fit for him. So, That was okay. But as far as the last portion of Sheldon, I mean, he finally got his what was it, Nobel Peace Prize, and he learned how to put his friends before him or something like that. They could have done that a little bit better. But the main part I didn't like was the part where the last episode, spoiler alert, spoiler. Oh, I should have said spoiler for all these episodes. But the part I didn't like was the last episode was them still sitting on the couch eating together, and then they panned out and they took the Big Bang song, the intro song, and then they kind of slowed it down. That was good. It was kind of emotional, but I didn't like how they did that though. You know what I'm saying? Like they still stay in the same apartments and stuff like that. They had outgrown that. And Leonard and Penny actually were expecting a child. It would have been better for them to get a house. You know what I'm saying? They had outgrown that apartment. You know what I'm saying? And there are nothing against people who still stay in the apartment. I still stay in the apartment. But when you have family, that should be your goal is to get a house and a yard and all these things. Okay. So I just didn't like it that they still stayed in the apartment. They should have moved away, even if they're still in the same area. They needed to upgrade to show that they're turning into true adults. I'm not saying that people who still stay in the apartment aren't true adults. I'm not saying that, but just the perception. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like how that ended. Um I don't know. They could have did a little bit better so it could be a little bit more emotional. I know that they were trying to be different too, than the traditional everybody moving away type thing. But no, I just didn't like it. And like I said, I've seen every episode. I love the series. I was just expecting more. You know what I'm saying? Especially for something, a show about intellects and stuff like that. I understand what they were doing. Okay. The show was all about Sheldon and how, at first he didn't like anybody and, he didn't touch anybody and he especially didn't want a girlfriend. And he ended up getting a girlfriend, getting married, having sex with her, all those things. You know what I'm saying? So, I understand what they were going for the final episode, but it was just unfulfilling to me. Excuse me. Let me check comments on everywhere. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some comments in it. Let me see. Go right here. The way that I said that. It reminds me of that song. My children used to watch this show, and it was like the theme song, like, what's happening here? What can it mean? What in the world is that show? I remember just listening to that song as I used to watch my children. You know what I'm saying? And I could hear that left and right. What was the name of that cartoon, that children's show? Let me see. Okay. I don't see any comments here. Don't see any comments here. Let me check YouTube right quick. And you guys, while I'm doing this, please, 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 let me know if there's a show you want me to cover. Um, let's see. Okay, I don't see any comments on here. Nope, not on here. Okay. So. All right, let me get back to Facebook. I apologize. I'm trying to run everything. I don't have a team for me. Okay. All right. Now, let's see. So, if there was a poem like that. I think it was by Jill Scott, and she was like, something like that. But anyway, so if I had to vote on which final episode was the best, most memorable for me, I don't know. A lot of these are great. I don't know. And there's some shows that I didn't include on this list that I totally forgot about. I know one, I know this is a children's cartoon, but it really tore me apart as a youngin'. Okay. Does anybody remember the show? It was on Nick Jr. It was called David the Gnome. Okay. And I was a young buck when this show came out. It was in the 80s. And so the final episode, spoiler alert, and I think I posted this on my Facebook page before. Um, the final episode was the two main characters, the husband and wife. They pretty much had to, I don't want to say pass away or die, but it was at the end of their gnome cycle. So they had to take their friend, which was a fox, and they went up to the top of this hill. And then there was like, it's time. And then the wind was blowing. And then they had the fox, and he was like, ooh, ooh. And then they hugged each other and smiled. And then they transformed to these trees. And these trees were like, representations of them or something. And then the fox was like, ooh, like that. And it was very sad. It was almost traumatizing for a child to see that. You know what I'm saying? But that was one of the first final episodes that really just hit me hard as a child. And we can get into this later. Some of the other ones where, you had some people die, children's cartoons was, if you've seen like the G.I. Joe movie and the Transformers movie, I'm not going to get into spoiler alerts on that, but there's a lot of death of popular Transformers and G.I. Joes in those movies. And in the comic books, if you guys ever read the comic book G.I. Joe, a lot of those characters die. Okay, so it's not like the TV show where nobody dies and there's lasers going back and forth and all that and such. No, people actually die in the G.I. Joe comic book, their first original ones. I know that there's several of them, like the G.I. Joe Renegade and stuff like that, G.I. Joe Special Ops. I think Special Ops is one of the G.I. Joe series. And of course, we have the live action version, which we have several deaths actually. But as far as main characters, we do have a major death in one of the live action G.I. Joe movies. By the way, if you're watching, I'm getting my resume together. I would love, I've said this before again and again and again, I would love to be in a G.I. Joe movie. I would love to play the part of either Serpentor, this I command, or I would like to get the role of, God dog it, I just left him, Shipwreck. My boy Shipwreck. I would love to play him. A lot of people are like, well, you got to grow a beard or whatever. Well, I can. Of course, that's just minute stuff. Of course, there are different versions of different characters. As long as you have the personification of that person, you can pretty much be any kind of way you want to. I'm not sure nowadays if you're in the Navy. Can any of you former Navy people, or I want to know if you can wear a beard. I think it's okay as long as it's trimmed. Okay, I know you can have a mustache as long as it's trimmed. But what are the standards for being in the Navy and haircut and stuff like that? And would the character of Shipwreck, I know it's fictional, would his hairstyle and his beard style and his mustache style be regulation in the Navy? I was in the Army, so I could tell you as far as the Army. I can't tell you as far as the Navy. So let me know, Navy people. Let me know. I still like to do another episode to where we take movies and those who are experts in those fields of the movie can give their opinion about it. Such as, I'm a martial artist, former martial artist, I like to say, because I haven't practiced in a while. But I'd watch a movie like The Karate Kid and I'd go through it and I'd be like, well, this isn't an actual technique in karate. They made this for this, and they're accurate right here, but they gave some liberties as far as what I'm saying, it for the movie or whatever. So if you guys want to do that, so we could take a show like Scrubs, and if you guys are doctors and nurses, I'd love to get your opinion as we watch these episodes and say like, hey, as far as a hospital or medical facility, we don't do this, but this is very accurate right here. And there might be some YouTube channels that have already covered this, but we can always do our own spin on it. It's just friends speaking amongst friends. I don't see any more comments as far as I think I read all the comments. I appreciate those who have been leaving comments. And if any time you guys want me to do another episode or do this one over again, or let's just say you missed it, and I apologize. I have been going through a lot this week. As a matter of fact, for the last month, I've been going through a ton of stuff. So I did not have a chance to post the promo poster. As a matter of fact, I had to rush and do it. There will be a Crane Talk Live. I'm sorry. Killer Crane Speaks On next week. This is what I plan to do. I plan to do a type of Black Jeopardy. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Saturday Night Live, but I want to do my own version of Black Jeopardy. The emphasis will be on people who aren't Black. I like to get their responses because I'm sure Black people would have just about all the answers. And those who are Black who would join it's playful racism, guys. Okay, kind of. It's not even racism. It's just playful. You know what I'm saying? So I'd ask questions, pertaining to this. And if you're not Black and you get so many points, we can determine whether you're quote unquote invited to the picnic. You know what I'm saying? That's a term we as Black people use. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a playful terminology. It doesn't mean that you're not invited. You can't be invited to a Black person's picnic. But anyway, I'm going to do a Black Jeopardy thing. Like I said, if you are not Black, particularly, Caucasian or something of that nature, you will be first pick in order to be in this Black Jeopardy's game. You know what I'm saying? So let me know if you want to join in. I will probably do this live still, the Black Jeopardy thing. I'll still do it live. However, I will do some heavy editing afterwards, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how to make the visuals like I want them to, like if you were actually watching Jeopardy. I think that's about it. Usually I stay on here for about 2 hours. However, I have exhausted all of the shows that I wanted to talk about. I don't see anybody else jumping in right now. So I'm going to end it a little early. I make the same announcement over and over again. And it's not that I'm sleeping on my projects, okay? The thing about it is, once you're doing something by yourself and producing something by yourself, it's quite difficult on top of taking care of a family. So if you guys can help me with any projects, I would surely appreciate it in any capacity. I need to send a message back to those people who said that they wanted to help me. I apologize. It's been a ton of stuff. So once again, the projects that I'm working on, I've already completed 3 episodes of The Legend of Gomeroy, which is on YouTube right now. So you guys can check that out. I have written a book. Well, I haven't written the book. I've written the outline for the book that continues the story of The Legend of Gomeroy. Okay. I will start with the book and take the proceeds from the book and make a live action version like I did with the first 3 episodes. I have made a continuation, like I said before, on family matters and what happened with them. If any of you are good with AI, I can give you guys the money to create these images for me. And of course, not only would I give you the money to create these images, I will give you a little extra money for your time and your labor. Okay? So if you guys want to help me, let me know. Here is my contact information. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. You can reach me, if you go on my YouTube channel, it's Killer Crane Productions. That's KILLAKRANE Productions. Now, if you want to send me an email, excuse me. If you want to send me an email, you can do so at KILLAKRANE Productions@gmail.com. That's KILLAKRANE Productions@gmail.com. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Vinaris KILLAKRANE Productions. That's VINARISKILLAKRANE Productions. Follow me on Instagram. Facebook, you can just search my name, Vinaris Scott, VINARIS. Last name Scott, SCOTT. You can also, if you have a Facebook account, follow my group. It is called the KILLAKRANE Speaks On. THE KILLAKRANE, KILLAKRANE, all one word. Speaks On, SPEAKS. On. The last word is ON, and it has a few dots in here. Please follow me. If you have any suggestions or anything for me, let me know. Let me know. Also, I'm not sure. I may do it tomorrow morning, but usually I do Saturday or Sunday fun night where I sit at home and play old school video games. You know, a lot of people ask me, would I play the newer video games? Sure, maybe, but everybody's doing that on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You have people like the Angry Video Game Nerds that are playing these old video games, but live. But, you know, I'm going to do my own spin on it and stuff like that. So I have a list of games here. If you guys want to play or whatever, I also have old school arcade games. Whatever old school arcade game that you can name from the 1980s and 1990s, I got it here, and I can play it live. Just let me know which game you want me to play. Even if I've never played it before, I will play it, and you guys can have a ball seeing me trying to attempt to do something. You can give me tips on the way, you know, while I'm playing the game to help me out. So that's another fun thing that I do. If you're in the Atlanta metro area and you actually want to play with me, let me know. Okay. And that means physically you'll sit next to me here at the podcast and you'll play these video games with me. Let me see. Oh, give a shout out to my boy, excuse me, Lamar Hicks. He is a regular on this show. He has a production company called Creative Team Entertainment. They do flyers, they do digital business cards. I believe they do some of everything. So you can go to his website. It's www.hicks2021.com. You can give him an email at creativeteamentertainment@gmail.com. That's CREATEVETEAINMENT@gmail.com. It's right here, guys, if you're watching it. A couple other shouts out I want to give. I always give a shout out to my girl, Lovatia. She has a podcast called the Lovatia Experience. It's mostly a sex positive podcast. We'll talk about anything sexual. You guys can be as open as you want to. So you can check that out. You can Google her. I'm sure that the contact information, because I didn't give her permission. I didn't get permission from her to use her contact information here. This is just a random shout out. But also my boy Barrington Marston's Productions. He helped me with The Legend of Gomeroy. He has grown leaps and bounds since then. This brother is really doing some amazing stuff. If you go to Tubi, you can check out his new movie called Abiding. He has another one called Mr. Watson that's coming out. And there were some other movies that he has in production. Forgive me, Barrington, for not remembering it, but you can Google his name, and I'm sure that all that will come up. As well, I still have my books on sale on Amazon. There's two of them. Planet Furball and the Heretic Kitten, and Blackjack and the Beanstalk. I have several books that I'm still working on. Like I said, I'm working by myself. I really want to produce this Legend of Gomeroy book. If it wasn't for the Legend of Gomeroy book, I would have so many books out right now, but I really want to release this. And I've sent it to my beta readers before, and it's just an outline. and I've actually got through writing half the book. So I'm just waiting for feedback from my beta readers. If you would like to be a beta reader, please, 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 is who is that? James Brown. Um, Contact me. Like I said, my contact information. You can send me an email. KILLAKRANEProductions at gmail.com. KILLAKRANE productions at gmail.com. You can give me a message on Facebook at Vanaris M. Scott, I believe is my Facebook. And of course, the Facebook group, the KILLAKRANE Speaks On. And you can send me a message on Instagram if you want to. If you're more on that, it's Vanaris KILLAKRANE Production, Vinaris KILLAKRANE. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me start over again. Vinaris KILLAKRANE Productions. Please send me a message on any of that. So let me check the comments one more time. I think I've covered everything. Okay, just making sure. I want to make sure anybody that sends a comment, they got their comment through. Nope. I don't see any. Let me check YouTube right quick. I think I got all the comments already. Yep, I've already read those comments. Let's see. Wait. Here it is. Okay. I've read all the comments for today. I appreciate those. I appreciate my boy Damian Noor, who commented today. I really appreciate that. I appreciate my boy Marzel Paler. I appreciate his comments today. Is there any other comments that you guys or anybody else that wants to join in? I think that's about it. There's some other stuff. So if you guys want to comment, that's about it. I think I've exhausted everything. If you guys need me to jump back on, let's just say if you guys just started watching and you're like, hey, I want to join back in and we can talk about this subject. We can talk about another subject because I'm going to be up. It's only 8:12 here on the East Coast. So I have plenty of time. Even as an old man, I try to stay up till 10 o'clock. I'm actually not old. I'll just use that as a joke. I feel like I'm 21 up here, but then my body's like, the hell you is. But what else? I think that's about it. I gave my shout outs. Again, my condolences to the family of Akira Toriyama. Loved his series in more than one way. It's just absolutely wonderful. My condolences. All right. I think I'm going to get off. Appreciate you guys who are watching on YouTube, who are watching on Facebook. I really appreciate it. And those who are watching later, you can always leave a comment later, even though this is live. If you guys have another idea for a live broadcast, I really appreciate it. Let me put this in here. Hold on. Let me add a comment. Hold on. Put this in my banner. So basically, I'm going to be working with these guys on their podcast. It's called One Tribe Properties. This is a great thing, guys. It is a Black-owned family business, and they promote the idea of investments, guys. You can invest, if I'm not mistaken, they said as little as like $1,000 or something like that. Please correct me. And for the Mayfield family, if I am incorrect in anything, please correct me. But they have a wonderful business, and it teaches people how to invest their money into properties and create what we call generational wealth. Okay. Very interested. I'm very excited to work with these guys. I really am. This is going to be a game changer in the Black community. It really is. I believe that. I feel that. That's why I'm working with these guys. I'm not charging them a penny for any of my services because I truly believe in this. And I actually, if you guys know me, I've been wanting to make a difference in this world, even with past stuff that I've done when I was back with the Mid South Interfaith efforts, where I tried to, make a peaceful coexistence between the world's religion. And my thing was, you don't have to come have a common belief to have a common understanding. And where is my notes from that? Anyway, these guys have a similar concept, and I wrote it down somewhere. Forgive me, I cannot remember it off the top of my head. I'm a little flabbergasted. I'm a little hot from doing this, but look up Google One Tribe Properties. Wonderful concepts. So I'm very excited to work with the Mayfield family. I appreciate you guys for picking me to work with you guys, and we're going to do some amazing stuff together. It's going to be a change in the Black community. Where does that song go? A change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. One of the greatest songs. And I remember it. I know I'm rambling again. It was in that Malcolm X movie right before, the tragic part, but it's a great song. And this is a great business. So, you guys look out for that. I'm going to send links and stuff like that when I actually start working with him. So, anyway, does anybody have any comments or questions or anything that they want me to talk about before I end this? Give it about 10 more seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Looks like I am going to end my live stream once again. Check out these guys, Mr. Lamar Hicks and his lovely wife, Natasha. They are really working together and doing some big things. Check them out. Check out my girl, Love Atia and Love Atia Experience, my boy, Barrington Marsons. Of course, go on Amazon now, right when I log off. And I want you guys to check out my book, Planet Furball and the Heretic Kitten, Blackjack and the Beanstalk. I'm changing the cover art to Planet Furball and the Heretic Kitten because my daughter created a new, better cover art for my book. So be looking out for that. Of course, hit myself up. So, all right, guys, let me know if you want me to chime back on, if you're just not watching or something like that. If you have an idea for a future podcast for me, or if you want to be a guest on my podcast. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I plan to do Black Jeopardy. So if you are, Black people can get on this too, but it's mostly for non-Black people. And we're going to have a little fun. So anyway, take care, guys. You have a good one. See you next Friday.